So hello, welcome back to the VAR show, the show which talks about all the various major football leagues. And today we will discuss a very important topic, or not exactly topic, but like many questions that have been sent in, which I will be taking. I thought I'll answer like around 10-15, but when I was preparing the sets, the only question that I could get is not get actually. I realized that by the time I prepared the answer, or I wanted to answer what I wanted, how I wanted to project it out. Like the first answer, that was going to take around 4-5 minutes. So I didn't want to make it very long. I wanted to keep it short. So I am answering only one question. Probably I'll take one question per day in the next 1-2 weeks and answer everything. And probably again take in second set of questions, or we can just send in whenever you want. I'll pick it up, and if it's good, I'll talk about it. And hopefully this releases on 2020, and today is 31st of December, last day of 2020. So without wasting a lot of time and without further ado, we'll jump straight into the question. So the question has been sent in again. The title name was anonymous 1234. So I don't know like what's the name. So if you are sending in your questions, send in your name also. So the person has asked, I'll speak in neutral gender. I don't know, it's a he or a she. So yeah, or maybe I don't know, or someone who then wants to say their gender. So the question is, who amongst the three center backs, that is Rudiger, Anthony Rudiger, Jordan Mustafi, and Fabin Schar, would be a good loan deal of 6 months for FC Barcelona? So FC Barcelona right now are not in the best of positions. We already know that because they're having a very turbulent season in the sense that even the biggest rival would not have thought that Barcelona right now, after 15 games, they will be in sixth position. Like, you don't see Barcelona at sixth position, right? They have conceded 15 goals and scored 29. Messi's contract is getting over. Everything is not, everything is not rosy in Barcelona. The only rosy parts are the new young players like Trincao and Pedri and Ricky, who are being blooded into the first team and probably will be a cornerstone for the team for seasons to come. So yeah, so the three centre backs mentioned, Antonio Rudiger, not getting much game time at Chelsea. He was linked with PSG in the summer transfer on a loan deal, but Chelsea wanted to sell him. And we have Mustafi, much maligned character in terms of Premier League. Uh, Figure of joke probably, but nonetheless decent defender. And you have Fabian Schar, who probably has not does not have the experience of the first two, like being in top teams, playing for German national team, winning World Cups, winning multiple trophies. Like Rudiger with has played for Roma, he has played for Borussia Dortmund way back, and he has played for Chelsea, where it, you know although they are unsuccessful according to their own ways, as they have been very very big teams. Whereas Fabian Schär has played for Deportivo and before joining Newcastle, and he has played in I think Hoffenheim, if I'm not wrong. Okay, Hoffenheim, and yeah, I mean those are not the high caliber teams. So on the face front, I think Rudiger is the obvious choice because Mustafi is 29, 28, I guess, and Rudiger is 27, and Fabian Schär is again 29, and Rudiger is his contract is getting over next year. He's a German international right now. Mustafi not so much. His time is already over, I think, the German national team, and Fabian Schär plays for Switzerland, which does not compete or does not come into the caliber of the German national team. So yeah, so we'll get into some statistics before we move. I've written everything down. So Barcelona right now are ranked 28th. That is the bottom team in La Liga in terms of aerial duels won. They win on an average 11.1 aerial duels. But again, this can be again attributed to the small fact that a chunk of the aerial duels that other teams are winning are because they are the weaker side in the division. Like Barcelona have so much of the position that they don't really have to win aerial duels. And the person who has the highest aerial duels won for Barcelona is Frankie de Jong in the midfield area, which is understandably so. And the second last in terms of aerial duel zone is Real Madrid. So like that big two in Spain do not really have to win a lot of aerial duels because they are having so much of the ball, and like the other team, they are not, they kind of sit back or kind of like like do not want to have a lot of position. So yeah, getting back, in terms of who the aerial duels won, Barcelona averaged 11.1 aerial duels won per game, and out of that, Ronald Araujo, who was in fault for the last game, I think he came out and said that's a monster mentality, that he came out and said that it was my mistake that led to the goal. And he's a 21-year-old from Uruguayan defender. He's from Uruguay. He's a centre back, and he leads the chart for the Barcelona team with 3 point aerial duels won per game. That's a lot. But he has played only 566 games, 566 minutes, not games. So in the limited amount he has played, he has been putting up decent numbers, and he is a good player. But 21-year-old, I don't like. I think he should be like the second choice if the first pair is injured, because it's a lot of pressure to like throw him into the deep end. I mean, he can come out well, but like the amount of pressure to continuously perform at the highest level for Barcelona, that you can't have even one off day, can be like detrimental to his growth as a player. So PK comes second. PK averages 2.5 aerial duels won, successful aerial duels per game, and he has played 692 minutes this season. Frankie de Jong, as I mentioned to you earlier, is the table topper. He has 1.9 in 1276 minutes, so that's a lot. So Frankie de Jong wins a bulk of Barcelona's aerial duels. So basically, he is the one who you should go to, at least in the middle of the park. Or you should park your second net for the second ball around him. And in terms of defenders, we have Longley, the first choice defender at Barcelona. He wins 1.6 aerial duels per 90, and he has done so in 979 minutes this season. So the reason why I'm speaking about aerial duels is because Barcelona have conceded 4 goals from set pieces, and this is not including penalties. Penalties they have conceded 2, and not even header goals from crosses. This is only set pieces, and they have conceded 4 goals from set pieces in 15 games, which is not good. It's not good. Like you need to tighten it up, because set piece is a very very huge part of the modern game, especially of for teams who like to sit back and attack. Maybe they are like someone like Atletico, they'll get one set piece with over. Like you see, like I'll give you an example of Liverpool versus West Brom. Liverpool were winning, but 1 goal, West Brom done over. West Brom took 1 point, went out of the game happy. Big Sam back in the business. Okay, so we'll move back to the Barcelona team, and they have conceded 4 goals from set pieces. So aerial duel is a clear weakness in this side. I mean, it's not a huge weakness. There are bigger problems, but if you can adjust this, it would be extremely good. So the three mentioned players is Anthony Rudiger, Mustafi, and Fabian Schar. So I'll take one of them each, and I will compare in terms of aerial duels and also few other statistics, which probably is a prerequisite for playing for Barcelona. So we'll start with Antonio Rudiger. Rudiger is 27-year-old German international, experienced player, played for Germany, Chelsea, higher stage. You cannot go more higher than these two, in terms of maybe Barcelona is the above step, or Real Madrid is the above step compared to Chelsea, but nonetheless, in terms of the national team or the magnitude of the games that he has played in the highest levels. So Antonio Rudiger has not been played a lot this season, but he boasts on an average 2 or above successful aerial duels over the past 4 to 5 seasons. So every season in the past 4 to 5, wherever he has played, primarily at Chelsea in the Premier League, he has averaged 2 or more than 2 successful aerial duel wins per game in the past 4 to 5 seasons. And he has also clocked 74.6 and 76.9 passes per game with 86 and 91% accuracy in 711 and 287 2874 minutes of Premier League games in the Premier League minutes in the previous two campaigns. So that's the last campaign, that was 1920 and 1819, and he averages around four-ish progressive pass per 90. So that's a very good number. I mean, like, even if he would not look like a fish out of water at Barcelona, where probably they will have the more chunk of the position, and the statistics will go up. But yeah, so he is passing, like he is comfortable in passing the ball, and that is a very like major prerequisite for playing for Barcelona. And he's a right-footed center half, and all three mentioned are right-footed, so that will complement Longley, who is probably the second or the partner of the main partner whom they are looking for, a partner to partner Longley. So yeah, so I didn't know if that makes sense. Partner to partner Longley. Okay, so basically Longley is the first choice, and along with him the other center half will be one of these three according to the person who has sent in the question. So Rudiger's statistics are good: 74.6 passes per game and 76.9 passes per game over the past two seasons, with 85% and above accuracy in both. Amazing statistic, would suit Barcelona, and he is currently valued at 25 million euros by according to transfer market. So of course, if you go into the real statistics, I think Chelsea would demand minimum 35 to 40 million for him, which again, his contract expires on June 30th, 2022, and according to the person who sent in the question, he wanted it to be a loan signing. I don't think so. Chelsea would send him out on loan with only 1 year left of his contract, like for 6 months. Like, I think they would ask him to sign a new contract and then send him on loan, or they would want Barcelona to buy him out outright for around 25 million or 30 million, whatever it is. And should I give a verdict now? I'll give my verdict later whether they are who is the perfect fit for me at least. So as I said, 25 million, German international. His contract, he has 1.5 year in his contract. Clocks good, passing percentage, aerial duel is good. In his prime, probably would be a very good centre back. So yeah, for me, not a like like both of them want to part ways. Chelsea wants to sell him. He wants to leave because he wants to play in the Euros. So yeah, so this is a good probable option for Barcelona, Rudiger, Chelsea. All three of them would probably be happy with this. So we'll move to and I'll give my verdict later on who should go. Uh, we'll move to the second player in the sample space, that is Mustafi. Jordan Mustafi, he had become a figure of joke in between, but I think he has gotten back some of it. He has built his reputation back under Arteta a bit. So Mustafi boasts on an average four or above successful aerial duels per game over the past four seasons. Four or above four. He has his odd error in him, like what you call brain fart moments. He has that, no doubt. Mustafi has it on him, but he's a World Cup winner. Is he a World Cup winner? Yeah, I think he's a World Cup winner. He was with Valencia. Yeah, so he has a previous experience of playing in La Liga, which probably Rudiger didn't have. Rudiger didn't play in La Liga, whereas Mustafi played, I think, with Valencia in La Liga. And Mustafi also boasts four of above successful aerial duels per game of the past four seasons. Amazing. He has also clocked 56.3 and 56.9 passes per game with 81.9 accuracy in 1206 and 2617 minutes in the previous two campaigns of the Premier League. Amazing statistics, on an average 56 57 passes. Not what you expect from Barcelona defenders, but I can see Barcelona considering him, at least under the previous board, because they bought someone like Jeremy Matthew, who I would not say was similar to Mustafi, but they have the similar, profile. Even Vermaelen, although Vermaelen was maybe a more Barcelona product than what Mustafi is, but yeah, I can see this happening. So in terms of uh, the transfer market and everything, Mustafi is currently valued at 12 million euros by transfer market, and his contract expires on June 30th, 2021. That is the upcoming summer. He's 28 years old, and I think, say, for 6 months loan, would Arteta, would Arsenal Send him on a 6 month loan and lose him for free? No. Should Barcelona pay 12 million? I mean, no. I mean, that's no brainer, right? I mean, like, you can already cross check, like, cross out this person, because will Arsenal sell him for less than 12 million? I think they should not sell him, because he may be a bad, decent, or a above average or a average player, but 12 million, you don't get a player who will replace him right in the squad with his experience. So I would say this deal does not make sense for anyone. Does not make sense for anyone. Like, even for the only person whom it makes sense for is for the player. He'll be very happy. But again, for both the clubs, does it make sense? Barcelona will not pay 12 million, and Arsenal won't send him on loan and lose him on free. So doesn't make sense for anyone. So we'll move to the third player, that is Fabian Schar. So Fabian Schar, the Swiss international, boasts an average of 2.1 successful aerial duels per game over the past two seasons in the Premier League. Before that, he was in La Liga. He also has 34.6 and 41.4 passes per game, with 74.8 and 68.1 percentage accuracy in 1634 and 2004 minutes in the previous two Premier League campaigns. And most of them were long balls, and it's not even a thing to hide. And I think Fabian Schär came during the Benitez era, so his defensive numbers would have been stat padded, because Benitez's defenders get a lot of like protection, and it's a system that brings up those statistics rather than the individual brilliance. And again, Fabian Schär, the plus point of Fabian Schär is he gets goals. He has, like, I think 2 goals in the previous campaign and 4 goals before that. So goals is something, aerial dominance in the opposition half is something, in the opposition box, especially during corners, is something that Fabian Schär would be deadly at. And again, he's 29-year-old, right-footed. Right-footed fits the bill, but 29-year-old, a little bit old, and his passing is not the best. Although he has played in teams or under managers who do not favor that style of pass, that style of, like, game, that way you play out from the back, and that was Benitez and Steve Bruce. So he's currently valued at 13 million euros by transfer market, and his contract also expires in June 30th, 2021. So again, does not make sense. Newcastle won't sell him for, won't send him on loan till the end of the season and lose him on free. They would want him to sign a new contract and then go on loan, and or expect Barcelona to buy him outright, and which probably won't happen from Barcelona's point of view. They should not do it, because first of all, they're cash strapped, and why would you pay 13 million for someone who you can get for free in the end of the season? That makes sense, right? Yeah, exactly my point. So my verdict, now it's time for the verdict. Whom do you want? You can write in the below, in the comment section, like, if you want anyone particular of the three, and who would be your choice. I'm not saying they are going or Barcelona is targeting. This was the question sent in, and according to that, I've made my answers, or made my points, and tried to put in an argument for all three, and seen, or not made an argument for all, you just made a holistic case, a holistic debate, or holistic statistics to, like, talk about who will be the good option according to me. So the verdict for me, I would go for Antonio Rudiger. Why? Mustafi, decent player, but you can get him on um, free end of the season first. Financially, you can get him on the end of the season free. You can get Fabian Schär end of the season free. You don't need to spend 12 and 13 million, like, on them right now, which probably Arsenal and Newcastle won't budge from the asking fees. Are they the best two centre backs out of the three? No. Fabian Schär is 29, Mustafi is 28. Although Mustafi is only 28, he's, I think he's past his prime. Like, he'd be a good defender, but he has his brain fart moments, as we said earlier. So yeah, so I think out of the three, so the obvious choice, my verdict, the remaining choice, that is Antonio Rudiger. Rudiger, decent defender, 27, I think. What did I say his age is? I have to see it again. Yeah, 27 years old. His contract gets over next year, so Chelsea might buy into the fact that if someone offers somewhere around 10, 12, 15, 20 million, they would sell him. Would he be a good signing? Of course, I think, and maybe even Chelsea will sell Rudiger to Barcelona for low, like send him on loan with the option to buy, or a compulsion to buy. That depends on uh, the personal interest, and I think Chelsea will want them to buy. And I think like uh, Barcelona can negotiate that part of the deal, what according to their preference, and they will have to come to a common term. And yeah, so I think like Rudiger would be a perfect choice at Barcelona. He has played in Serie A, Bundesliga, Premier League. Does not look like a fish out of water. Has been decent in all three leagues that he has played. At Chelsea also, currently under Lampard, he does not get much chance. He is not in the plan, but I can see him coming back also because Chelsea are not the most defensively sound, or Christensen has not performed extremely well, especially in the last game. So, and he was also linked to PSG, and yeah, I mean like PSG wouldn't buy someone for the sake of buying. So I think like Rudiger would be the best. He boasts amazing numbers in terms of uh, aerial accuracy, aerial dual zone, and although those are dwarf numbers compared to Mustafi, but uh, Rudiger is still in his prime and probably will play 3 or 4 seasons. And with having so much of the ball at Barcelona, would probably even make him a better player. And also you have like Frankie and a few other players who will probably shield him more, and he'd be a more sound defender there. So for me personally, I think Antonio Rudiger would be the perfect choice of three, and yeah, I think like he would be a good choice for any of the teams. He would not be the starting centre back. Even if Barcelona go on to buy someone else, he would be the perfect option. Like who would push the first two pair to the maximum, and probably even come in and replace them. Whenever required. He can also play in the right back slot, so that is a plus point, right? So yeah, so that is it from this episode, and I think if you have any questions, please send them over, and I will probably make a small clip like this. It's not a small clip, but a clip like this, and then put it out, whatever question it is. So till the next time, take care, stay safe. Bye. Also like, share, subscribe if you want to. If you don't want to, also just subscribe. Yeah, if you're watching, subscribe. Have some shame. Bye.